Paul Warren.
And I'm Ryan Klein.
And this is another episode of SEO is Dead and Other Lies. Ryan, how you doing today on this beautiful, rainy-ass Sunday here in Orlando?
Yeah, it's like beautiful is not the
beautifully gray
direction
outside.
This is going to go. Yeah, we're recording it here on Sunday. It's about 4 p.m. I think we were going to start doing some stuff last Thursday, but I was just really tired.
Yeah.
I got a red eye from Denver, and it was brutal.
So even though this is an SEO podcast, we're going to talk about something that's not SEO related.
I don't think
maybe it's a little SEO related.
You tied in with SEO somehow. We'll figure it out during the podcast.
We're talking about Facebook advertising because it's a really powerful thing to make money with, generate leads with, get buzz around articles. You can use it a lot of ways.
Yeah. Why do you think now, right here in February, beginning of February 2019, do we decide to start talking about Facebook ads and dedicating a whole 4 hours? We're going to talk for 4 hours today about Facebook ads, and now we're going to talk about 40 minutes.
We're just kidding. Why are we doing that today? Well, it's because we've been running a lot of campaigns on Facebook, and we're just talking about that.
That's true.
We're just naturally talking about it, and we thought we'd roll this into a podcast.
I think that towards the end of 2018, I officially started to become a believer that Facebook ads didn't just work in select industries. I started to see it happen for all industries for the first time in my whole 8 years doing this. And now we're moving into 2019, and with all the trends and the things that we're rolling out and doing campaigns, I think it's officially time.
Yeah, we're a little actually behind when you think about getting on top of it.
Well, I've been doing a lot more personally the past 4 or 6 months, but we've been talking a lot of SEO, cool SEO things.
We can't do all of the niches, all of the mediums.
Well, it's also good for SEO to diversify. You can't just do on-site and keyword research and link building and content development all the time.
We're experts in one. We're trying to expand.
Plus, this could easily tie into any SEO campaign. Think about remarketing. Think about supplementing your SEO campaigns. It's additional visibility in other channels.
And it's way more likely for someone to click on an article to read it from Facebook than to give them your information from Facebook.
Cool. So obviously, we don't have to convince you guys anymore, so stick around.
Just
after
listen.
This commercial break. No, there's no commercials. Okay, so let's get into it. We don't have an official agenda for talking about Facebook ads, but being that we both have been dedicating a lot of time to it, we're just going to bounce around and probably talk about
we're going to walk you through how to do it, actually.
So you just want to do a walkthrough first?
Yeah, I think it's important to know because, people, I get this from people all the time because I haven't experienced in running ads at other places and just managing departments that did this, I know how to do it. And people never really know how to start. And there's a whole side of Facebook, if you're a business owner, that you probably don't even know exists out there. And then when you actually see it, you're like, whoa, this seems really confusing. And some of it is really confusing.
Actually, it is confusing, and I
think it's purposely made to be confusing.
Why?
It's not a very intuitive system.
The system is not intuitive because as we go into it, you'll notice that creating forms is under publishing tools, and then managing ads is under this random managing ads under settings.
It's almost like they want you to use third-party things you have to pay for.
I don't know. Everything is all over the place, and we'll preface with that.
Well, we're gonna walk you through how to set up how to set up a business account, how to set up your campaigns, how to find some audiences to target.
Dude, we're gonna have to I don't know.
It's gonna be the abridged version. That's really fast. You might want to watch some YouTube videos after you're listening to this, anyways, to kind of get some details. Not YouTube videos that we have, but just look some up. There's a million.
So the easiest thing I'm sure anyone has ever seen, probably the first exposure anyone's really had to Facebook or paying Facebook has been you're on your page and you posted something that says boost available for this post, right?
Boost this post or this page.
So we're going to already tell you that's 1/100th of probably what can happen on Facebook nowadays.
Yeah, you actually really don't even want to do that.
That might even be the worst thing you could possibly do. That's the AdWords Express of Facebook.
Most useless. I won't say it's completely useless, but it would be advantageous for you to not do that.
Well, what happens is you boost this post. It's you throw me $5, you're going to get 100,000 people that might see this more. And then that's your first exposure. We can probably start with audience there. So what happens is, who do you want to share this post with? It's going to say something like, people that like this page, okay. And then it's going to say people like this page and maybe the friends, which is kind of cool because
people in this area.
Which is, I think that one's the first one that segues into meaningful audiences. So what happens is someone sees that post and it goes, your friend so-and-so already likes this place and this post. And that might be a reason for them to see it. But audiences are just so much more than that.
Oh my. There's so many more types of ads you can run. There's so many more demographics within the audiences to look at that's not available to you just by doing any of that. Really, one 1/100th of what's available.
That's what I
is
said.
In that.
1%,
So playing off
1
what Ryan
100th.
said,
Yeah,
1/100th.
1/100.
1/100th of
Cool.
it.
So is it easier to start with like some examples of a campaign besides we don't want to boost a post? What do I want to do? Do you want to get
All
more
right, you wanna
emails?
set
Do you
this
want to
up
get leads? Do you
legit, right?
wanna... Okay.
You don't even know what you want to do yet.
Okay.
Let's say you haven't figured that out. So you need to have a business manager account within Facebook, right? And it's
Uh-huh.
free. You don't have to pay any money
Not yet.
to have this. Not yet. You're gonna have to pay some money in a little bit.
Don't
So,
worry.
so first of all, you have to build a page. You got to have a page. It's got to be published for a business.
So it's always gonna be a business page.
Yeah,
correct?
you got to start with a page.
It wouldn't be a group. It wouldn't be anything else. It's always going to be a page. It's always going to be business.
Yeah, it's gonna have to have.
I don't
its
think
own,
it doesn't have to be a business page, but it has to be a page.
Yeah, it has to be
because I'm gonna be
It does
citing-
have to be a page.
I'm going to be citing my Food Network fan club page quite a bit in this podcast.
That's fine. It can do that or whatever. But at some point in this, like, there has to be a published page for you to attach like the ad that it's going to come from. So
Correct.
it's going to be like posted.
And
by
then
this,
you're going
right?
to sync up a credit card or a PayPal with it.
Yeah,
Both
but
are acceptable.
before you do any of that,
Let me skip around
oh
more.
my gosh.
All right, go for it.
There's so your page is live. You're in there. You're looking at the admin area for this page. Within like the settings, there's going to be like manage.
Should we pull
ads.
it up a little bit?
I mean, I can just picture it in my mind.
No
'cause
problem.
I've been in there so much lately.
I'm just staring at Audacity recording crap. I could probably
yeah,
look
you
at
can
it.
pull it up and maybe I'm wrong. And you'd be like, Paul, don't tell him that.
No, that's all good.
Um,
You know this.
But you can click on manage ads, right? And then it's going to take you to a subdomain of Facebook. Actually, I don't even think it is the subdomain of Facebook. I think it's just a separate website.
It's probably just some convoluted
Yeah.
subdirectory.
But basically, it's not going to look like how anything looked like for you before in Facebook. It's like all set up just from like a technical aspect, right? And that's where you're going to set up an advertiser's account. And so the advertiser account, like you have to, agree to some terms of service. There's like a section if it's like your own business. To even like verify it, I think there's like you can submit like a W-2 or something, or like your business number. There's like some additional stuff.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah,
Huh.
but you can also select like, hey, I'm doing advertising on behalf of a business.
Oh, right. And that's we were just doing that recently.
Yeah.
So is that the point where it's like wants you to do like a tax ID potentially?
Yes, that's it. Yeah.
Oh, don't even
so
do it.
there's like some
Yeah, just
additional.
don't even do it.
You can jump through
don't
if you
give
want.
any
You
information.
don't have to do that if you don't want. But so all of that's like located in there. So you're gonna do that, and then you're gonna give them a credit card to attach to this account. This is
Or
what's gonna
PayPal.
Or PayPal, which is gonna pay for the ads once the campaigns are done being run. So once you do all that, and we're not even gonna get into like how to assign managers that are like outside of like maybe you.
That's
know
just
someone
that's just
else,
page roll stuff.
or like if you want to assign like an agency to like do this for you, but you don't want to give them all access to everything to like do all the stuff.
Yeah.
Like that's actually a really convoluted process. That's like
Isn't
very
that just
complicated.
that's just page rolls of the page though, isn't it?
Well, so they
But
they
they
have
have, like-
to,
they
they
have,
have
like,
to
8
like the page
Oh, they have to like it.
first of all, but then like you have to like if they're like an actual agency like they get like an invite with an ID that they have to put in, and then it goes back to you, and then you have to put this other ID in, and it's like synced, and then they can
Oh
finally
gosh,
do
it's
it.
that complicated.
Yeah.
I know that there's like 8. Have you seen there's like 8 Facebook roles now? There's
Yes.
like analyst.
Yeah,
I'm like, what
I
the
know.
hell is an analyst?
I don't know. I've never done
It's
anything
like-
other than admin.
They just look at your analytics. It's like, okay, cool.
Oh, thanks. I
Wonderful.
can just do that. So there's a bunch of things hoops you had to jump through for that, and it's like too complicated to like speak this to you how to go
don't
through
talk
it.
these people out of it.
Well, no, I'm saying if you want to do it, like you should still do it, but like watch a YouTube video on how to do it.
Yeah, no,
and
that's
they'll walk you through it. But so once you get that, you're all set up. You're like, hey man, I gotta set up a campaign. Boom,
Yep.
how do I do this, right?
Well, do you want to decide what kind of campaign you want to do? So
Yeah.
what's the goal? Everyone should know. I mean, any goal, like any campaign. What's the goal? What do
Yeah.
I want?
So there's a lot of different goals that you can get from a particular type of advertisement, right? So if it's like, I just want to get more people to be aware of this page and I want them to like it.
That's an
Or
easy one.
That's an easy one. I want people to watch a video. I want people to click on something and leave Facebook and go to my website, which is really important because you have a tracking pixel and then you can retarget those people later on in Facebook.
And if you don't
throughout,
know what
like,
retargeting is, shame on you.
yeah, or once they come to your website, you can retarget to them with other ads on other places.
And hit them on
across the
Facebook,
internet.
or you can do display marketing on plenty of other
Yeah,
websites.
so there's a lot of different options, and then this is actually relatively new in terms of what Facebook has offered is lead ad generation, right?
And we're going to
So-
probably be like focusing a little bit more on this one, because this is the reason for me, especially
This is
that I've been focusing
as a
a lot more on
marketer.
Facebook.
This is the most powerful for
Yeah.
you to take advantage
So,
of.
so typically you want the funnel to be as short as possible, right?
Mhm.
Unless, post-gain lead, of course you have nurture campaigns. We're not talking about nurture the second. We're talking about gain leads. So you want the steps from someone seeing something to filling out information that you need to be as short as possible.
To be able to contact them.
And so when Facebook enabled this, which I believe, I don't know at the time, but I feel like it was in the past year.
I think it's about 2 to 3 years old now.
It's a lot shorter. It's been a lot more recent than the whole span of how long Facebook ads have existed.
It's the newest type of advertisement, I believe.
The fact that you can deliver an ad, and then it can click on the ad, and it can prompt them to fill out their information right there on Facebook, is the reason one of the sole reasons that I pursue it now for my clients, especially in their medical, legal, storage, whatnot.
Yeah. So what's cool about this too is, if you've ever had a form on a website that gets a lot of traffic, you always get junk leads, right? Like if you're let's say you're giving a free download of something, people never really want to give you their information if they don't have to. So you get like an email that doesn't exist that says like pussypounder69@gmail.com, right?
That is real, though.
Well, my college roommate had that.
Oh,
that
yeah.
was real. But you know what I'm saying is you get like a fake email with a fake name,
Yeah,
and
and
a
it's
fake
it's
address,
useless.
and then you get nothing for what you gave them.
It's
right?
it's useless for your follow-up newsletter. It's useless for actually just contacting them. It's just it's garbage.
So what's great about Facebook lead ads is that information is automatically generated, and if you've ever signed up for Facebook Messenger, which you have to if you have the Facebook app on your phone, it's the only way to like send messages. They have your phone number, so they know it's accurate.
Yep. What happens is they click the form and it auto-populates their name and their email, because that's what's been associated with their account already. So what happens is it's actually really easy for them to submit the form, because they click it, it already has their information populated, so they just hit submit, unless they want to alter it, which they don't. So you're getting that info
And
real
it's
quick,
highly accurate
and
info.
it's insanely accurate.
So if you tie that, so once you're in there to this campaign, right? You've selected lead generation as the type of campaign you want. You got to look at it as sort of like a pyramid, right? So if the campaign is the top of the pyramid, right? This is where you're starting, and then you're branching out into like different subsets of it, right? So then you're gonna have the actual, what's the next setting? Campaign. It goes from
Oh, like the campaign, then like ad, and then ad sets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So a campaign might have like multiple ad sets in it, multiple ads that have multiple ad sets in it.
Mhm.
So an example, right? Let's say it's like around Christmas time. So it could be like, oh man, Christmas 25% off sale would be the name of like the campaign.
Uh-huh.
And then within it could be like an ad for a fishing rod. And then a different type of ad could be like a video ad for that fishing rod. And then a different ad in that can be like a completely different product for like a boat, whatever. It's however you want to like kind of set up like that. But then each one of those individual ads is like an ad set, and that's the actual creative for each of the ad that the person sees at the end
That's right.
of it.
And so currently we're doing about 4 ads per ad set.
Yeah.
Because the way that we like typically doing is we have 2 different kind of call to actions and 2 different like preface texts, and then 2 different kinds of images. And we'll get into later how stinking important the images are. Like images with Facebook ads, I think, are almost everything.
Yeah. So then in the ads, the non-creative part, that is where you set up the very most important part of any campaign, and that is the audience that you're targeting within Facebook.
Mm-hmm.
And so the demographics they give you is actually kind of scary when you see all the information that they have, that they've compiled. Or like,
Well, scary as in like, how do they know all these people?
yeah, like how do they get all this information?
But it's
right?
Facebook,
But
man.
They got it.
I mean, that's the reason that Zuckerberg's on his freaking tour of the world telling people
Trying to
like
convince
why
everyone that
it's cool.
He's good, you know.
Yeah, why it's good and he doesn't look like an alien nowadays.
But you can see like people who, let's say, they just recently got engaged, or or they got engaged in the first 2 months.
We're talking like specifics. Like, yep,
They just got married.
engaged, just moved, just got back from out of the country, just got back from Brazil.
Their political views down to the
Does
very
it,
minute
does it,
detail.
Does it do political?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, it does.
It
does.
does.
It doesn't. How do they say it? They don't say liberal and Republican.
They
that
even
doesn't make
get
sense.
more-
Democrat and Republican.
They
say
more.
they say leaning.
They even get more granular than that within there.
You get into income. Income can be broken down by top 5%, top 10%, top 25%, 25% to 50%.
Education level.
Education is
That's
completely.
huge. They can break that down to just any tiny detail of someone's education.
Yeah, let's
what you've studied.
Let's hang out on here just for a minute, so we can inspire people. This is we're at the 15-minute mark. This is called the 15-minute mark inspirational segment.
We're only going to do this once.
So we're talking about other demographics that are especially interesting. You can do people that have made purchases directly on Facebook recently, so you know that they're already used to making purchases
They're highly
directly.
likely to make a purchase from Facebook.
So we're talking about like more of the behaviors that are concrete. Now, interests are very interesting because interests can go on indefinitely, like the little things people are interested in. So they can be interested in like haikus.
Yeah, they could be interested in that. They could be interested in like particular football teams, their college football team, their college basketball team. Yeah, it's so insanely granular.
And I told you about the time. And so the thing is, I don't know. All right, so if there's interest, and this isn't even like what I know exactly. This is more like what you're taking on it is. But when you write about it in a post, you don't like click I like the Houston Texans. I don't click I like the UCF, Golden Knights, for all you assholes out there. But if you type about it, you like wrote about it, will you get put into that category because you've posted about those words? Because
I don't know how they
I think that's
collect
how
all
I think
of their
that's how
data.
it works.
I think that there's a lot that goes into how they collect that data.
Because I told you about that crazy time I got served that ad that was a T-shirt that says on Saturdays I'm a Knight and on Sundays I'm a Texan. I told you about that.
So I think it's like,
and that means the
now
audience was both.
now we're even like getting into delving into like the conspiracy of like how much they're listening to us, right? Because I think that you have probably experienced this. I know I have.
Yeah.
Where you've talked about something and then you've been served an ad after talking about it, not even like going to like a website for it. I had that happen to me multiple times.
Yeah, and God help us.
And I've even had like talked about a movie, and we have a smart TV that has apps, and they already disclaim that your TV listens to you, right?
I told you about
They're-
the time
they're doing that.
I told you about the time that that bitch over there was talking to my TV and they were communicating. Remember my TV was like freaking.
Oh, yeah.
I said this on like podcast
We don't
before.
want to.
You said that I was.
Amazon
You said that I was sleeping, but I think that my TV and my
Alexa,
where they're
yeah,
talking
they're
to each
talking
other.
to each other. Yeah. So
Yeah.
I mean, I have an Alexa as well, and
She's listening. She's
she's
all lit
listening
up.
right now.
Yes. What can I do?
Oh.
Oh, she's so disappointed in saying anything. Go to
Um,
sleep.
But I've like talked about something, and then that like talked about a movie, and then it showed up in Hulu to watch. So like that's like how tied in all this stuff is together.
Yeah, it's very bizarre. But like the reason we're kind of like talking about this is we're talking about very specific instances when you're creating an audience where they have to meet like a criteria of like at least two things that have to sync up and maybe like a third one. So in that case, what happened was someone had like an apparel company, sports apparel, and said for every person that definitely has an interest in Houston Texans and has an interest in UCF Knights, we're going to serve them this ad of this one T-shirt. So that's interesting for any freaking business in the whole world.
Did you buy that T-shirt?
Hell no, it was ugly. It was like an ugly fucking shirt.
But if it looks good, would you have got it?
No, it's really cheesy.
Were you just mad that they targeted you so well?
No, I thought it was
A little
cool.
bit.
It was creepy and it was cool. I like saw it and I was like, no way. Like I thought it was cool for like a little bit, but you know what? I saw someone in public wearing it, which makes a lot more sense. It was on Saturdays I'm a Knight and on Sundays I'm a Jag, And I was like, that makes sense.
Well, they targeted them and
Jagoff.
they got them.
Yeah, and someone
they
wore
bought
it in
it.
public. I was like, you're wearing that in public?
So our point is, all this is available to you once you've set up a business
yeah,
manager
it'll
account.
blow your mind. This is your chance to get. I think one cool thing about Facebook ads, especially for SEOs, and I think the one reason I like it, is it gives me a chance to be like creative in a different way again. So like, SEO, we've been creative and thinking outside the box with keywords and link building and content and whatever for a long time. But Facebook's like, it's a refresher because it's like, hey, like this is
Exploring a new world.
this is interesting. So like, I won't get into
That's really
until
how Ryan
later.
and I got into SEO too. Is we were like, started super exploring it and doing weird things and making thousands of pages at one time and
Yeah,
putting
we were.
bunches of links and
I mean, the thing is that this isn't
hacking
gonna,
shit.
This is never gonna be super technical, which is never gonna like feed my part of my brain. That's like more like that. Like none of this is ever gonna get like too complicated. You can't exploit anything, I don't think.
No.
But it's like you be creative at least. So yeah, the behaviors, the demographics, and the interest. I mean, they're very extensive. I think that Facebook probably got in trouble with some of them, and that's why they've removed a lot of them. But there's still a lot available.
Yeah. And then as far as geo-targeting is concerned, this is where you do all this stuff, is in here. So you can target, exact cities. I think you can even target by the
I don't see
zip code.
I don't think there's
You used
zips.
to be able to.
So when it says, when we're like inputting all the cities and it defaults to radiuses, but then it says like only target the city, will it like carve out like the city boundaries in that case?
I think so.
You think so? Yeah.
Yeah.
So the thing is like when you're doing targeting and you're trying to target like certain people, it's not going to be as like accurate, I guess, as AdWords because you can't do like zips and you're not going to carve out like, little borders
AdWords
of
is,
certain
like,
areas.
super
Yeah, that's
accurate.
super accurate. Thing with Facebook, it's like just blanket this radius and like your demo is not going to always be like every single square inch of a certain city ever.
Yeah.
But you can probably get creative with
But
it.
you can get, within 10 miles of that city that you put in.
It doesn't
it's
let
like every
it doesn't
city.
let you do less than 10 miles, which is
Yeah.
kind of annoying.
Or you can go as wide as like I think 100.
It could
maybe
go-
It's
it-
50.
it's
I think-
probably
I think you
50.
can go as wide as like 50.
It's probably 50.
which I would suggest doing. But what's great is it tells
AdWords
you.
is so much more badass with the geographic parts, though.
Yeah.
Because you're like this and exclude that and include this, and you have like this crazy. Anyway.
What's
but,
great though is it tells you based off of the geographical area and the interest that you've chosen what the average size of the audience is.
That's
which
amazing.
Which is really really,
and
really useful.
and it's like down to like 100 increments of 100, I think.
Yeah.
Which is really honed
and then
in.
it gives you an estimate of like how much spend it's going to cost you a day to reach like X percentage of it.
I think it's a good time to also say that Facebook is super reasonable as far as costs, and that's another reason we like it so much.
For a very very small amount of money, you can get in front of a lot of people.
The cost per impression is low.
It's insanely low.
And so another thing we have to say is you're paying for impressions.
Yeah.
Like you don't have a choice. I don't think you can pay for per click.
You can't.
Yeah.
I would.
It sounds like
We
something
would be
that,
doing that.
it sounds like something I should obviously know. Like,
Yeah.
hey, I'm here talking
listen
like
to
an
a
expert.
podcast about this.
Yeah, I'm speaking as expert, and I'm not sure if it's a CPC or CPM.
That would be
okay.
great if they did.
No, it's CPM.
One of the things
They don't do
that we
CPM,
didn't
it's just
talk about
prices.
here in creating audiences is let's say, okay, you made an audience and it wasn't really working very well for you, right? But there are a couple of other ways that you can make audience, and the best way that I've seen is from a customer file. So if you're in a business that has collected the names, phone numbers, and addresses of a lot of previous clients, and you have that information, you can upload all that into Facebook, and it'll take that information and it'll build an audience profile for you.
And what is that audience called?
Custom audiences?
A lookalike audience.
Oh yeah. Oh well, we didn't get into that yet. Lookalikes. It is, but it's a different function. Like
Oh no!
you can make
I still don't know what
from
I'm
a lot
talking
of
about.
things. Yeah.
Yeah, lookalike is
What
is
is
very
this?
cool though.
Yeah. So you load all that stuff in there, and then it gives you that option of like, hey, we want to make a lookalike audience that's within 1% accurate to this audience, right? It can't be the exact audience because they've already bought the product and you.
That must be a pretty insane algorithm that can analyze all this data and it crunches all of it for you and says, here's an audience, new audience that's like as similar as humanly possible.
You can do between 1 and I believe 3% similarity to the audience.
That is super.
Yeah, and so that is super valuable if you have that data to be able to do that. And then if that audience that you've made a lookalike of works out, you can just make a lookalike of that audience, and then you just keep making lookalike audiences over and over again and testing them out and see if they convert.
Yep.
And so you don't have to spend that time kind of like drilling down and figuring out what are the demographics of like your particular audience. You know, Facebook is telling you.
So some audiences are like super straightforward. So like, for example, my personal one, where I target people that happen to like maybe the show Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives on Food Network. And what happens is my audience is literally everybody. It's men, woman, 18
Everyone
to
loves the show,
65. Right? And the only modifier or modification to it is I go to interests and I type in people that are interested in Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And the ad is served to literally every person that's ever said they like Diners, Drive-Ins, and Dives. And you know what the audience is doing? It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yep, it's fantastic. Then you have other people where it's like, I don't know what this audience looks like. And the good example of that is for some of our criminal defense lawyers, what do people that get DUIs look like? I don't know. Everybody.
Like, I would say that it's easier to sell a service to a group of, like a niche, than it is to find the people that provide customers to that niche. And so what I mean, like, it's easier to target lawyers to sell them SEO than it is to find them people.
Oh, that's
to
a good point.
Provide the service to.
Well, what happens is, in that case, if you want to, like, let's say you want to create an ad that gets in front of lawyers and you have, like, an amazing product, call to action or whatever, right? And you're like, all you need is for this to be in front of lawyers. And I'm like, good. What you do is you go to, like, the demo. I'm not sure which one it's under, but it would be job titles, lawyer, and that's it.
That's it. And then you know.
I mean, not everyone
can be
is
like a particular type of lawyer.
Not
too,
everyone
like
is a criminal defense lawyer,
Yeah.
but you already know that you're cutting down by over 99%.
You know it's an accurate audience at least.
Like, that's a great starting point already. Their job title is lawyer, legal assistant, like a legal office manager, all those people, and you already know it's cutting out 99% or more people that you don't want to be in front of.
Yeah.
Boom, just like that.
So
you can do that. But job title is a great
if
one.
you're trying to generate leads for your own business, and you do some sort of professional service in SEO, it's a really powerful tool to do that.
And you don't think that lawyers are susceptible to ads on Facebook? You're wrong.
Oh, they are.
They are. They like Facebook.
One of the cool things too is so instead of creating an audience like this, you can create an audience based off of an event that these people have been to, or like a page that they've liked, or something
Which
like
this
that.
is brilliant. Please elaborate.
So, if there's like some major expo in the city and they went to said event, or, they posted something about it, or like I even think that they can just track that you were there when that event happened, you can target those people as well.
That's one way you can, I know it's not really Facebook related, but geo-targeting, and we've talked about this in the past, anyone that's going to be at a certain place at a certain time, you can serve them ads afterwards. So geo-targeting, I know this is like a complete side note, but it's a good way to sync it up together.
Yep.
If there's a conference that you know that once a year, like your ideal clients are all in that one freaking place, it's going to be that Facebook. They just recently went to Expo and speak geo-targeting, target and serve ads to anyone that was within this radius, which would be a convention center, like at that certain time.
Yeah.
And then you will be serving the ads that you need everywhere you need it to be
And
for
what
X amount
people
of
do
time.
at expos? They go on their phone a lot.
Yeah, because
Have
it's
you ever
boring.
been in a giant like conference talk? You're kind of bored. And you're like, man, I want to go eat that shrimp afterwards at that buffet.
God, they don't even have
Get
shrimp.
drunk.
They always have like prime rib and freaking little
Pull up my phone.
snacks
I'm gonna
and-
go on the old
They have like
Facebook.
they have like the little handheld quiche things.
Yeah.
I was at a veterinarians conference last night, and they got the America's Got Talent speed painter guy. I'll show you a video later.
Oh, that sounds cool.
It was kind of cool.
Yeah.
He painted John Lennon and Ray
Do
Charles.
veterinarians like to party like lawyers? Yeah.
Dude, they're crazy.
Really?
Yeah, they're pretty hectic.
Huh.
They're a bit much.
So
Anyway.
let's say you've done all this stuff, and now you're moving on to the next section where
Oh,
you're
so
actually,
you've identified you've tinkered around and you have audiences you feel good about.
and you said okay, and then you hit next. Boom. Now it's going to take you into actually making the ad. I guess the ad sets for it. Am I using the right terminology? How's it go?
I don't know.
Campaign, ad sets.
That's why I said if
and
you want to
ads.
pull it up. I think that if you guys are
Saying that in
listening,
reverse.
I don't know. I mean, it's definitely campaigns.
It's the part where you actually make the
You'll see
the
it.
creative for the ads. It's the
Okay.
last part.
So
of
before
it.
that, the audience you're gonna like. Google's gonna tell you how many. Not Google, sorry. Facebook's gonna tell you like how many people you're gonna target. I think you're gonna set the budget there. Just
Yeah.
start low.
Okay, this is actually like a pro tip. and Facebook will just automatically do this unless you tell it not to.
They want you to spend a lot like everything else.
Yeah, they do. And so they want you to run these ads across as many networks that they own as possible. So they own Instagram as well. So
Yeah.
unless you specifically tell it, don't run these ads on Instagram, they're going to run it. And that might not be.
Well, you
like,
also have to
the
link up
medium.
your Instagram first, though. Which
No, you don't.
Yeah, but you can't.
No, you do not. They'll just run an ad on Instagram without, because it's set.
Even
in
if you don't
Facebook.
have an
That's
Instagram
right.
account?
You don't have to have an Instagram account.
Oh, weirdo.
So they'll do that. They'll do like different types of posts, like within story. Like there's like
Oh
other
yeah, they'll be
options
like,
as well.
do you want it to be like a story news feed? Is an ad? Is
Yeah.
it this? Is it?
And then one of the things, so let's say you have a video ad, and they'll give you an option to only show this ad to people when they're connected to Wi-Fi, right?
Oh yeah.
So maybe, it'll be slow for them to load depending on where they're at, or they don't want to, they don't want to look at that stuff when they're not on their Wi-Fi. So I don't know, that's becoming less and less of a problem as people have better and better service. So, but that's still an option right now if you don't want to serve people ads unless they're connected to Wi-Fi on their mobile device. So you figured out all the stuff that you want to do, and you're like, boom, next, let me actually make this ad. Let's make this bad boy, right? So you go in there. What's really, really cool is Facebook gives you a ton of creative images. I believe it's through Shutterstock.
It's through Shutterstock, and it's like literally every Shutterstock image.
Yeah.
And Shutterstock is great. I use them for my
Fantastic
agency.
imagery.
It's thousands and thousands. No, it's hundreds of thousands
So,
of images.
you're going to put like the headline in there. You're going to put the image that you want. You're going to put whatever the offer
They
is
make it
below
easy
that.
too. You go to Shutterstock and you search by keyword.
Yeah, it's like literally just
And then they're like, "Don't worry, the watermark won't be on it afterwards."
Yeah.
You're like, "But I want it."
You can upload your own image if you want. You can upload your own video. You can actually turn a series of images into a video. They do that now.
That's
You
an
can do
interesting.
GIF.
We might have to do.
GIF,
We might have
where
to
you're
do
from.
2 parts of this because we're already 31 minutes in.
Oh, yeah, we gotta wrap this up.
No, we don't have to wrap it up yet. But people will be like, the first half wasn't even that good. Why want to listen to the second?
I know.
But one thing that they really encourage, and because we eventually, probably not this podcast now, we really, really want to emphasize video segmentation because I think that's the future. And they let you like string together a bunch of images, like kind of in a way where they'll do dynamic like transitions between images, and they'll be like, hey, yeah, now it's a video, and you can you have even more options with video ads because then you can do video segmentation, create even more audiences. But let's not get ahead of ourselves.
No.
Just know that you can put together.
do it.
You can put together like 3 images with dynamic transitions in between each image, and it'll be considered a video.
So you've done all that, and then you're going to get to the bottom part of this, and that is, there's some more stuff in there that we're not going to get into because it's a little more for someone that's like a little bit more of an expert. Like I don't know if you understand how like UTM parameters work, and it becomes like a little more like you're tracking clicks and like all this stuff, like your leads, and like you got like a CMS.
I think that's like if you're
CMS,
if you're
but
just doing Facebook ads like day in day out, you're going to take advantage of every single thing.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that's more for like people that know like a lot about it. And I don't know what our audiences of this podcast is, but so bypassing all that,
a lot of Triple D fans.
yeah, you're going
That's
to
what I
get
hear.
to the lead form part of it, right? So you're going to have the option to create what your form is going to say. So you can have a really simple form that's just like
Name,
email, address,
Not
or
even
you can
address,
add
yeah.
qualifying questions, right? So you're going to have less people fill it out, but you're going to have better leads that come through, and you can add a number of qualifying questions, whatever you want them to be. They can be very, very custom. So it's like, do you own a home? Do you pay X amount?
and you're writing
whatever
these
bill?
out. So you're writing short answers for them to answer.
Yeah, and then you give it a custom image. So one thing you have to know about this part is you kind of have to have a website to go along with this because there has to be a privacy policy that is connected to this ad. So you have to let the people filling it out know that like how you're going to use this data.
It's funny actually because Facebook's like default disclaimer, if you read it, is pretty funny. It'll be like, Facebook is like taking this information. We're not gonna like use your information. Like we're following our own privacy policy, and we don't plan on like using your information for anything. But we have no idea what they're gonna do with it.
Yeah, that's not our problem, bro.
And that's like the disclaimer.
Yeah. So basically, you go through all of that, and then you hit submit, and then it goes through a review at Facebook. I don't know if it's manual or if it's like an algorithmic.
I don't know.
Usually-
You'd think that it would be manual.
Depending on, I guess, the industry can take longer than others.
I think that they sniff out certain keywords.
Yeah. So
Like,
I would
because you
say
had
it's like an algorithm.
It's an algorithm because you had one that said tax and it took 3 times longer than other ones.
I would say it's maybe it's both. Like if it's an algorithm and then it's flagged and then a manual review probably has to happen.
You
or
definitely have
something.
manual review.
So, but it's it's not going to go live the second you hit publish. It goes through this review process that can be anywhere between an hour and like 12 hours. I would
think
say.
right now for me, I think it's averaging a couple hours for like
Yeah.
a brand new like campaign.
Yeah. And so then it goes live, and then based on what you set, like your budget wise, it's gonna like generate that out in front of people and like meet those budgetary like requirements throughout the day, and then boom, a lead comes in. You'd think this would be the simple part.
It's actually one of the most complicated parts.
Not.
You're like, where in God's name is this lead?
Because it's not in the business manager.
It'll tell you. It'll hardly tell you that you got
It
a
says that
lead.
there's a lead. It says the ad that got the lead. It says the creative that got the lead.
So where the F is your lead? Because honestly,
Oh my God! I need
This
this
is
lead. I got to call him.
so what is the easiest way I could say it is you have to go to your page. So go to your page. All right. So this is if you don't set up like any CRM or you don't like link it up with anything, right? You're just like straight up getting leads within wherever it is hosted on Facebook. You're going to go to your page. You're going to find a tab, I think at the top, that's going to be called Publishing Tools. You're going to click on Publishing Tools. There's going to be like all this crap you didn't even think existed for your page, and it's going to be like 20 tabs on the left, and you're going to look all the way at the bottom on the left, and it's going to see like some lead stuff for forms and say like forms library, and then it's going to say a few other things about forms, and you know exactly what the terminology is, but you're going to click one. It's going to show all the forms that you have active. It's going to show you which one
Has
has
lead in
leads.
it.
You're going to click it, and it's going to basically be like, do you want to download the recent leads?
And it's gonna give it to you in a CSV file.
CSV or XLS.
Yeah, and then
It'll just be there with the
And that's
columns.
it.
And you're going to be like, this
See,
is really
you think
ugly
that
and weird.
You could just put send an email. It
doesn't do
No,
it.
no, it doesn't do that. So then you actually have to set up some sort of third-party integration
Yeah.
with Zapier. There's several things that you can use to send that to your email to let you know.
Even if you want a
there's lead.
notification.
I think that you might be able to well, if you have Salesforce, you can definitely integrate it with
It,
what
integra-
Salesforce
it
gives
integrates
you.
with some CRMs, but like, man, getting notified about a lead, you'll never find out unless you log in.
Yeah. So just so you know, it's not in the business manager. It's not where it would naturally be or logically be in the place that you built it. It's in a different place for you to look up.
Yeah, so don't forget about them.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, and it'll be like, do you want it from a date range or you want your most recent ones? But it's like, how you determine what are recent ones, because that's like an arbitrary date range anyway. So,
Yeah.
you're going to have a little bit of fun getting your
With
leads.
that one. But yeah, so that's kind of a walkthrough of how to run some Facebook ads and all the cool stuff that you can look into after setting up your business manager for your account.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's worthwhile for pretty much any business to pursue it and see how it works. Because there isn't an industry at this point that I don't think could benefit. Well, I'm sure that there's some I just can't think of. I mean,
Yeah.
porn can't work, of course, but
I mean, there's some industries where you're not allowed to advertise.
you can do
For-
like legal is like we do like legal heavy on it, like pretty straightforward, like generic legal, and it's fine.
Facebook bans some advertising industries, and there's some where like you have to go through additional approvals.
Yeah.
Like healthcare has things where you have to go through.
Well, I mean,
additional
you can
approvals.
do porn. I don't know how much you can do insurance. I mean, I'm sure you can because like
I think
Geico
they're
and Allstate
cracking
have it.
down on finance-related things
can't
like
sell-
Forex as well.
You can't sell like dick pills or anything.
Yeah, actually, I think they cut out Forex,
Did they?
or they made it like a lot more difficult. There's a lot of things you can't advertise Forex with. 'Cause
it's probably like pretty similar to what's on
I don't think
AdWords
you can
anyway.
do like
though.
payday loans or things like
Oh
that either.
no, I don't know if you could ever do
So, but that's just a general walkthrough. We'll probably do a follow-up podcast at some point where we talk a little more detailed strategies
Yeah,
on
there-
how to target people.
that. Yeah, I want to give like more examples, and
Yeah.
I didn't even get to the point where like imagery was probably like more important,
Yeah,
and
like
some
how to
examples.
test your ads, how to
Good
optimize
call,
them for conversion.
good call to actions, good tags. I mean, we have examples at this point of like what works, what doesn't. So I guess that's have to wait till next time.
Ooh, so tune in for the next one when it comes.
Cool. Got another 2 minutes. How's UCF basketball doing?
They're not doing great.
What? You mean
I've
in
been a
general
fan
or
of
today?
this school. I've been a fan of that basketball program since 2006. I've been hoping every year.
I'm a bandwagon for UCF.
Well,
Well,
I've been
I don't,
hoping-
but I don't have to be bandwagon. It's my alma. I can hop in whenever I want.
I told my girlfriend that if we made the tournament, I'd fly to wherever it was to go to that game because I've
Oh.
been waiting that long.
Yeah, we were going to
And
go
they
to.
haven't done it.
We're going to go to Columbus, but now they think they're not going to go to Columbus anymore.
I don't
Yeah,
think
we
they're gonna
barely
make it.
barely beat SMU.
At the end there. We're not a basketball school.
Oh,
people. We're a
Dawkins scored
football school.
26. Wow. Yeah, we're like, we're like a football.
Football school.
We're a football school. No, we're just like, super smart. We
But-
don't care about sports.
Anyways, thanks again for listening, guys. We appreciate all.
Oh yeah,
of-
what episode is this? It's a.
Oh, you know what? Let's give a shout out really quick to one of our listeners who sent us a question.
Oh yeah, can we answer it real quick?
Yeah, I forwarded you the question.
I want to answer it real quick.
Answer it.
Well, where is it?
It's in your email.
I can't find it.
All right.
We'll do it next time. Don't worry.
Yeah, but it was about having toxic links being built to you.
I think it had a little bit to do with like a link portfolio and what your anchor text should be. Remember, it's like visit website,
I think
website,
it was-
website.
Yeah, but he was more worried about someone else was building these. Like he wasn't building these websites.
Well, I can't answer unless I
Like
have
these
all
links.
the facts that
Yeah,
have
but
to
we'll
be
answer.
facts.
We'll get into that on our next podcast and answer that. And we'll do a whole Reddit Q&A actually.
Yeah, we'll do that.
So-
I guess just keep in mind that people are actually sending us questions that we intend on eventually answering. We'll just keep that in mind.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
But anyways, thanks for listening, guys. I'm Paul Warren,
And I'm Ryan Klein.
and this has been another episode of SEO's Dead and Other Lies.
Goodbye.
Bye.